as well as hello YouTube. Hey everyone, I'm playing more 14 and I'm just gonna kind of get right into the nitty gritty of it. Nothing really too fancy. I have a lot more quests to go until I get to Heaven's Ward, so yeah, fun times are ahead. Alright, so if I last recall, I was doing a quest right down there. Yeah, Tendrils of Intrigue. So, just kind of hop right on over there. And fly. And last time I streamed, there was like a fate in the corner over here. It's like, oh, you need to do that. Because it's like, everyone's doing it because it was Behemoth or whatever. And then got like stream sniped. It's like, hey, they're doing Behemoth. Go do Behemoth. Okay. That's kind of neat. All I know is I'm probably really, really close to having the fight Shiva, and I guarantee this is gonna be a thing, so let's hop right on in. Let's see. Ooh, new stuff. That's all Garbo for me in particular, but you know. Captain Ilberd, your report, if you will. Like, specifically, why are we standing outside? Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us not that we did not already know of Shiva. And I need to turn off that. Yeah, there we go. Yes, please. We have since handed him over the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, once proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There are 5 on our list, including a flame station at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortin. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that was one mystery solved, at least, but what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. We considered then that our investigation was to barely a handful of them, that field of suspects is greatly narrow. I mean to say that the agent is among Raban's innermost circle, someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment? This is the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, remained above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 Garen companies, Udaz was ever more vulnerable to infiltration. Yeah, given the kind of city it is, I can kind of see that happening. Both Linzum, Limenza, and Gridania have long-standing armed forces that lent themselves as well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. For all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones mind, under the same leadership, only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Udaz's military was made of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answer only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of his founding, there would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. Good deal easier than now, The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, 'twas not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Neil von Darnus's ambition been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that it would have never risked supplying Draban with an army. It's but a wonder that they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present, however, even as we speak, our Doman allies are showering several high-ranking claims, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal with a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from they ere long. Very good. Pray to continue as investigation with the first. Meanwhile, they have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sarah Emmerich, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ish Guardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. The Emergency Council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As Commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Azurius, as the realm's stoutest champion, just only meet that you would be present for the discussion. Oh, and the Antiston has already given her consent, lest you worry. Alright, quest accepted. I had to speak to Alphanon again. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude her business with Iceheart, but until another path of her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. When Philly and the Archons are sparing no effort here to secure an alternate route, until such as time as they succeed us as we give some thought to the realm's other problems. Check on ahead to Grodania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me out in Nofika's altar. Yep. Alright then. Might as well just warp there then. It's funny that they have them walk away and stuff like that when teleporting is still a thing. So you kind of feel like they would just kind of teleport to these areas instead of, you know, walking away and just disappearing. Hello. Thanks for coming. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She'll show us. Why do I have to talk to you then? If I had to talk to you, I could have just talked to you and skipped that entire step entirely. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will we be joining them now? Yes, we will.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
Okay, advance. I turn it on. There we go. That took a little bit.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
"'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
How's that thing stay on? It's like you tilt your head and it just falls right off.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all.
That is an upside-down cow
I
necklace.
propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Still also the potential Shiva problem, but, yeah. That'll happen when it happens. You will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer than being of one purpose. Despite their protestations to the contrary, plainly the threat of the resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. Nations' leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Lominzans, for instance. Oh, Admiral Marob. I still don't know how to say that one. Marob outlawed piracy over a decade ago. Foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling nation-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are marked as hermits who talk to trees. Uodans scorn as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Telegia, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartanal is a necessary evil. Speaking of which, that is also a problem as well, because something's going on over there, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, then kind of just set it to the side. Each nation has its own warmongering fashion that advocates the acquisition of Omega. That's what they were talking about. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since he spoke at the observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, one he seems the most likely candidate has lately come to Gridania. Convenient. The hunt nears its end, Azure. All that remains is to order our quarry. Seek out Ilbert and near the Adder's Nest, and he'll give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Corthus, you say, I'm sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Alright, well, let's have my camera not work. There we go. Alright, we'll just go here. Right. Oh, why did I do that? Right over here. I don't know why, but that clapping right after I hit the sprint button was just kind of funny to me. Hello, your name's all centered. Now it's not. My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. I'll take this thing, I guess. Okay, the next one. More stuff that I don't care about. Whatever. Listen well, the spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Line Royale, Raban's second in command. Really? Probably said the name wrong, but you know. Prior to joining the Immortal Flame, she was a mercenary of no small renown. A serious skill with polearm had been seen to be. Okay, yeah, now I believe it now, considering her design. I don't know why, it just screams traitorish. Of Ishgarnian birth, she is the highest ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Raban chose people based on their worth, whence they held was of no interest. The Monitors saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And the Shadows are messing up again. It's no secret that they did not favor foreigners, the Guardian especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the Monitors did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Royale was appointed to her post. I'm saying it wrong, probably. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the Monitors? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us. I know I'm reading this, but right now I know that the game is raining and then there's a person sitting there just dancing right where this guy in the red's supposed to be. So if she was still there when this was going on, that would have been hilarious because it just turns the camera and then you just see a person dancing. This woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless. On some pretense she is up to something, mark my words. Kind of figured that one out already. And when we speak, we have a dozen men. She was at the meeting, too, so that makes it even worse. Trawling the Flames records for evidence of Royale's guilt. If we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing in the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely on your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry. Bye-bye. Speak with Ilbert, who went to... Okay, map, thank you. Right there. That cinematic was so long, I got my sprint back. Where did you go? Be right over here somewhere. There you are. Walked right past you. Ally is headed in the direction of Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion. Blue Badger Gate it is then. And I run out of sprint, of course. So our allies had entered the Carling Canopy, meeting someone perchance, or because she means aboard an airship. Try to look for her fence. She's not on the upper floor. Try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Infamy is her name, and I shall remain here in case... Okay, so I just gotta talk to her. Okay. And she's down below. I wish I could just jump right here, but I can't. Also, I think my mouse is dying because it keeps stuttering. I might have to get batteries soon. Oh well. One of these days, I'll just get a wireless mouse that charges on the mat. That'd be kind of neat. Hello. Zurius Carmine, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger and none bore any resemblance. Oh, don't let me keep you. And up we go. My biggest issue is that, yeah, see, my mouse is stuttering when I go a little too far this way for some reason. And I think not sure if this will fix it, but it might do something. Yeah, let's give that a shot, see if that changed anything. Nowhere to be seen, you say. Are you sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back out either. Where could she have gone? The roost, how could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in Montoy tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor. Take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You are a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. May wish to take your search to East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Dolmens. Were it not for their unique talents, she literally just changed clothing and went somewhere, but, you know, I guess I'll take that thing. Give me next quest to go to the East Shroud, please. There it is. That was weird. Garbage, garbage, garbage. All right. Our hunt leads us to East Shroud, and I suggest we follow Royale's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. Tell us what should make certain preparations. I know I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. They said West Shore Pier, not Sweet Bloom Pier. What? Excuse me? That's fine. I'll just warp here. Okay, dokie then. Let's see. I like how it's always like, you have these achievements. Now, wait until they load. It's always the same thing every time. I'm like, why? All right. This way, my friends. There's one person here. Never mind. Different person talking, and I didn't read the name. Inquiry makes for the Hawthorne Hut. If Riley is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there. Explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city gates. So doing, it made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Riley would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yeah, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flame, she cannot move about the Fenland without being recognized. Only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. It's for a reason, I believe, that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. Elizan are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and rendered such contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We only need to make for Hawthorne's Hut. Okay. Let's go. While they walk, have really pixelated leaves on my screen, and I just fly and take off. What thing is that? Level 11? Okay. Yeah, mouse seems to be working a teeny bit better now, so that's good. Really? There we go. Maybe we'll report to that our quarry has departed for the Brent. Come on, really? Ivy returns to the knowledge when she came. Perhaps it's all for the better. Vic's own overstanding will require darning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Alright, we're flying again. I have a feeling that she's aware that we're going after her or something. And they're trying to just trap us somewhere. I mean, that's my guess. Not joining the fate. Just beyond rallies and conversation with an individual clad in a manner of adventure. Hero's intermediary, no doubt. This is it. With me. Double nod, and we go. Fleet Marshal Eline Morale, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool. I mean, that's kind of like, you didn't expect that you could run that slowly and get away, right? We have all manners of ninjas everywhere. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle, but you wish to fight. You are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? You arrest me for strolling in the Twelveswood? When at last I looked, there was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then. Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Even a warrior Raleigh's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. The spider claims her surrender does not speak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. The ivy thus uprooted, it would be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames would gradually wither and die. Yep, and then the people of Udal will have the grand company they deserve. Let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now? There's the Shiva problem. Hello, people. This little sound seek away into Icehard Sanctum. Then I dare say your eagle will return the rising suns. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You do not need to waste your talents here. Speaking of talents, have you considered training the art of the shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe, so give it some thought. Until next time, my friend. Rising stones we go once again. Blick. I was confused for a second by that mount just sitting in the door. Welcome back, Azure. I understand that Alpha now has a task for you. May I ask what it was? Yeah, the thing with the Ivy and the fact that there's still Shiva. Charges of treason and espionage against the Reliant Royalty? I can scarce believe it. Can there have been some manner of misunderstanding? No. It avails us not to dwell on it. Whether the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak to another matter. I am pleased to report that we made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Let's see. Garbage, garbage, garbage. I guess I'll just take that. More garbage! As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetherite in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystal she stole from the House for Tom Karan. The heretics say that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. As if we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of some kind employed by the beast tribes. It's likely the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Aethernet and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetherite to which she have teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetherite upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with the Orangier, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why I have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Charlian. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I'm certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let's make our way to the northern gates and await her coming. Wait for the carriage outside Revenant's Toll. Too bad it takes forever to walk outside this place. Alright, so Northern Gate, that's far enough to make me not want to walk the distance. Okay. Alright. I bet they didn't show it enter because it probably clipped into the walls.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Charlian scholar and an authority on Aetherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Okay. Let's talk to you instead of why. Okay, you could have just said that in the cutscene. It's one more voice acted line. It's not that big of a deal. Or better yet, just have her walk in the door and make me not have to do this. Like, I know that the pacing in these quests was bad, but come on.
gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Etherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate a second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetherite.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have wide aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
Yay, this one? We all left the room. Now we're here again. I've already informed Alpha now of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Moonbreeder described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. That he wishes to meet you at Snow Club before proceeding. Okay. And I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done. Yep, I will return, as always. All right, let's go to Berthas. All the quests in that one spot. Okay. And now we wait until I get there. For once, it's not like a snowstorm, and I actually see. Right about there is where my mouse seems to screw up a little bit. Let's see, is it still doing it there, there? If I move down here, I might. Nope. Strange. Might need to figure out how to get around that. Good to see you. I was starting to wonder if you're having second thoughts. Captain Obert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Line Royale and Noda even as we speak. I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that by which mean to say the others are waiting for us at the Aetherite. After you. There, it's ready. The ice cube is now ready. Ah, it worked. I think. Try tuning to the ether right now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. We've done all we can, Azure. Let's for now withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If by the traces grace of the 12 you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. Time to leave, talk to somebody, complete the quest. Yep. Okay. That's what time's called for different measures. Okay. Sir Admiral regrets that he could not have been here in person and asks that I read you this letter. Ishgard faced an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. There is Karma and the warrior of light, savior Eorzea. Your deeds they shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Halone, may whatever, bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. Ak Afa Amphitheater. Okay. Which is literally right here, technically. But I can do it in the duty. Alright. So this one. Swing. And now we wait. Average wait time 12 minutes. Okay. And now we wait. Okay. Any day now. There we go. It begins. There we go. Now it begins.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
All right, let's get started. Not sure what happened there, but I'm definitely going to do this again. Excuse me, why did that not work? There it goes. That was weird. Wrong button. Okay. Definitely felt a lot less danger in that fight than the Leviathan fight. Heck, even the Ramu fight, I felt like more like, ooh. That was just like, whatever. Alright, and we're out. Like, even ignoring the big attacks, I didn't feel like any threat whatsoever. I was like, I lost a teeny bit of health, whatever.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander a mother's gift.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
Yeah, I was just waiting until the cutscene was over. You missed pretty much the entirety of a fight, which was ridiculously easy, honestly. I had, like, no issues whatsoever. By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. What wouldn't you be? Iceheart did what? And you're certain about that, are you? Dravians are skilled glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough, I was only asking. Thank you. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones. I'll meet everyone there. Get everyone there, but before that, you best pay a visit to the Whiteburn Fountain and speak with Halfa now. He's probably worried sick about you. Not or he's busy playing in politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. Alright, to White Brim Front. There's one letter off. place with all the quests that I have not done. One of these days, I'll just climb this up without needing to jump off the dang thing. There he is, and none the worse for wear. Well, was there any doubt that the Warrior of Light was the seat? I think I speak for all of us when I say that. I should nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. And we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Azure to thank. Yes, you are right, of course, Sir Emmerich. We would be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is a matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drillmont, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely arrive in its toll. Of course, I have no doubt. I take it that these are the self-same supplies that the heretics stole from the House of Fort Tom caravan? Less the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Unrelated note. Azurius, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? It's not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Men give vent to their anxieties in a myriad of ways. Pray do not think less of him. Sounds good to me. This time I could actually warp to the area. And while I'm here, let me clear out my duty finder selection as a just in case. What were you thinking? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway. And then engaging in the abomination in mortal combat? Wow, the fury is there. It's just the stuff of ballads, a battle for wages. For the ages. Close enough. Would that I have been there to fight by your side? Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of the dear friend for a venerable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now. That's what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emeric wished to have words with you and Master Alpha now in private. He waits us in the accessory. Alright. We're just going over to the other door again. Greetings, sir. Yes, show me in at once.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgardsormr could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am now. Why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
So, what did you get? Alright, time to talk to you again. It seemed that we had much discussed with our friends at the Rising Stones. It is what you say is true. Icehard's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reprisal of a primal threat and our approach to combating it. However, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace and that their mere existence to the threat is this very star. Hello? As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then if it became known that it was not the only beast tribes of Eorzea that would summon primals, but our civilized peoples as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before would have to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Oh, Missouri, it's better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. Alright, sounds like a good plan to me. To Mordona we go. Let me guess, I'm going to complete this quest, have like a small cutscene, like they're just talking, quest completes, and then it's going to be the final one of this patch, quote unquote.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog XII was a primal, I should think.
May his soul rest in peace.
Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not, but full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Level 110 weapon coffer. What level is my weapon now? I don't see it. Okay. I mean to scour the annals of... We're not... Okay. Midgard Summer, given his greatest age... Great age, I dare say, appears in more than a few. Do you hear that? The commotion outside? The commotion? Commotion, Jesus. Would you see if autism is? Outside we go. I will accept your party invite, I suppose. Although I don't really know if I'm even going to need it, honestly, right now. Way up. Zurius, it is well that you are on hand. We have a problem. Reali has escaped. Happened shortly after the immortal flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial. Apparently, the accommodation, wow, it was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. This plane she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Reali quitting the city via the gate to Null with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castor Meridian. I'm certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee her to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon Reali's heels. They make haste to Camp Bluefog and join the hunt. They really, really just wanted, like, her to have some sort of importance. Because otherwise, it's like, whatever. She existed for, like, a little teeny bit. It's like, oh, she's gonna break out, I guess. Alright, so where do I gotta go? Camp Bluefog, which... Northern Denoland. Oh, I can just warp there. That's fine. Okay. Hello. My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Reali walked through the camp not a bell ago. She walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raban's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so here we are. Ally must not be allowed to reach Castor Meridium. Alright, she's probably gonna reach it anyway because of just having to walk around constantly. Where are we going now? All the way over there. Alright then. Away we go. Giant pit. There we go. This wretch was with her ally. He threw himself at us when that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own. With me, Sion, we almost have her. Where did she get the... Okay. Alright then. Sounds good to me, so I know what I must do. They kind of forget that I could just sit here and just do this. Okay. Go over here, take care of this group. Yeah, I finally got hit. Well, that was easy. Once I got holy, those things become stupidly easy. Find her and do it tight. Yes, sir. That just looks like all they did was just put her arms together and it's like, ropes! It's like, not even at the legs either. She could literally technically get up and run. But, yeah. Imperial cronies push us close. Yep. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. He looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fall so low. What would you know of low? You spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. Aye. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it's your gods given rights rule over others? You know not of our plight, the injustice that we lowborn as guardians must endure. To noble lords and ladies, we are not people but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive, stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me as a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Raban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth. With little more than the shirts on our backs, hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we grudge others for their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different, then? 'Tis true that we are both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we have both had our fair share of struggles. Whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, well, I can talk, is never to betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Uda and face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Not so much as a hint of remorse. It's well that this sordid business is finally at an end. Friend's betrayal cut deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Rabban chose his. Technically, you wouldn't really know. Okay.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Roban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
I wonder how many people just want to punt him. Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of our malicious escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Baun. That shall be the end of it. Of course. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones on a... Come on, feeling of all that has happened. I'm aware that the antecedent held Royale in high regard. For better or worse, you'll want to know how this tale ends. I mean, I'm not really going to be doing anything that requires a party aside from story missions right now. So... Right then. Now back to the solar, because this is the last quote-unquote quest of this patch. Alright.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent.
I was nowhere close with that name.
Together with Robon, Aline lent us much needed aid at the time of our order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that you will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had two pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
It would seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Thank you.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
What? That didn't even sound close to what Minfilia said.
They have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima Weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima Weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ulda prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea.
In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
7 hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Duh.
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, why you must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Today I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Uldar whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the immortal flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Uldar's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the immortal flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Uldar.
The true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Uldar to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Uldar.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Uldar will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Rauban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
I feel like that may cause some issues down the line, but I guess we'll see. I'm going to assume this thing is garbage, so, I'm gonna wait. More cutscenes, go! I'm most eager to address the Ascian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Isgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of a primal threat was once the sole property of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Thus you jest, Antecedent. The Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason? True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we all have the resources we need to address them in turn. Azurius in particular is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been any further developments regarding the situation in Uda? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Suffice it to say, Telegia Legi and his monetarist ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Raban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I'm to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, I, however, cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. You can teleport. And so, for the foreseeable future, I would think it would be best to remain in Uda unless you have an injection. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbreeder's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, though I'm not familiar with the details. Ranger is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Last, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it's only a matter of time. Azurius, while we focus on that task, mayhaps you could assist Alpha now and his Braves with theirs? We do so much to restore faith in the Immortal Flames and for Warrior Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Rael's latest report. He has proven to be quite good at gathering information others wish kept secret, hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Odon riots. When you are finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may have soon a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. To the outside we go to talk to Alpha now. When we could have just continued the conversation here. But whatever. 3 feet. Hello. A pleasure as always, Azurius. You'll be escorting the commander at Oda, I take it. Why do you look different? Actually, I had another task in mind for him. If you would be so kind as to repeat your report for his benefit. Right then. Oh, different person, derp. Me and Nine been making inquiries into the source of the weapons found their ways in the refugee hands a way back. It so happens that we caught wind of something promising, rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near High Bridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, will prefer this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant would caught an arrow while talking to the Azurius, don't it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears for the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which is to say that these clients have the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, you might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods. Savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as the clients. What say you? Nod. Then it's settled. Rendezvous with Captain Obert at Highbridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Urda. I expect good tidings. Just teleport! Okay. It's like they know that it exists in this realm. They do it in cutscenes sometimes. Why can't they just do it? Just teleport to the place you need to go. I don't know. Whatever, where am I going now? High Bridge. Oh, I know where that is. And we fly. That bridge is right there. Ah, Azure, my scouts have been keeping a close eye on the Black Marketeer, and it would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he hired more than a few men to stand guard, common thugs of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a man of your standing, and Commander Olivier need to have dispatched you hither. But powerful men ever need a loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, it is only natural that they will come to rely upon you without hesitation. Yep, finish your quest, talk to you, do the thing. Now then, we should make for the Burning Well without delay and secure those weapons. First, you will ensure that the clients do not escape. With me. By with you, you mean you're going to vanish, and then I'm going to follow you. Because, of course. Game, let me move. Thank you. And away we go. That's not terribly far from here. I think I might need to get in the cave, though, in order to get in there. So, right here. I spy the one man, but there are sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the Black Marketeer unawares. Once you dispose of the thugs, wait for us outside the secret tunnel entrance. Any questions, then let us be off. Okay? I could technically just fall right here. And then just kind of wait. Teeny bit. That's fine. Let's take care of it. And hello. Who goes there? An adventurer? You should never have come here. That's fine, because I could just do this. They're dead. They're dead. Okay then. They're dead. Next in the lineup is outside tunnel entrance right over there. Okay. So away we go. Those shadows are so slow moving. They look fine on my stream because the frame rates there is slightly different, but I don't understand. What's this all about? What? What's going on down here? As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out, but before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the dastard, and it brings an inexperienced recruit. Commander Levier will be most disappointed. A golden opportunity wasted. As for the clients, though we know not how, they slip past the perimeter. At present, the first is currently tracking a party of dust white cell swords, and we suspect may be them. With that, we have enlisted the aid of the Immortal Flames or the Brass Blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least, we secured their weapons. Yet, even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicated a massive shipment. This is anything but. We failed! Quest complete! I will join the first in the hunt for the dust white cell swords. If the gods are good, we will catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. In the meantime, asking them to deliver these weapons to Oda, my stead. Okay. Oh, I gotta collect the crate first. I was about to teleport. Alright, going to Oda. Come on. Alright, closest place to that is the Weaver's Guild. Okay. At least it looked like it anyway. Whatever, I could walk the distance if I need to. I'm going the wrong way. Right over here. Ah, the Warrior of Light, ever reliable friend to the Crystal Braves. You have my deepest thanks for your assistance with Porthos. Now what brings you to us this day? Fox. A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer, courtesy of Captain Obird, you say? Understood. Once we catalog the contents, I'll have them delivered to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? Royal stated with confidence that there be a far greater quantity of weapons. A bland falsehood. Clearly Royal is unfamiliar with the ways of Wodan merchants, whoever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. We should be thankful that his information was not completely erroneous, and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. It's still something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Besides, we got more important things to worry about, like fighting those Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders are to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, I shall take my units to the Cerulean processing plant. Time for the fourth to earn their keep, huh? Fight well, Elaine, for the freedom of all. Can you imagine it was like, what's your name? Just door in the middle of it. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the Mortal Flames will hear of your contribution until we meet again. Azure, I would if it please ye. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Okay, I guess I'm going there instead. Alright, where... Really? That's like right around the corner. Whatever. Alright. That was a good camera view. Thanks for indulging me requests. Few places better than a market for privacy, I find. All the hustle and the bustle of commerce means most conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the Berlin Wall, when you and the captain interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything. Leave no detail out. That's not quite how the first told it. Those Dustwites they were chasing. Latest word is that we lost the trail. But you never saw them yourself? After the fighting started and not after? Right, I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in me bones. I'm not daft enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boast. Our information was reliable. I know he purchased those weapons. That's I never deciphered any money looker's books. And I follow a transaction back to its source. Why do I feel like Ilbert is a traitor as well? Did plenty of that back when the Braves were getting started. Believe me, the commander wanted assurances that we were taking Gil for the wrong sorts of benefactors. Of course, these days the money flows like water, and the first and third get the shiniest new toys. Forgive me, friend. I have a lot on my mind these days. I appreciate ye lending me your... Right then, let's get back to it. Azurius, can you hear me? This is Tataru. The president has urgently requested the Rising Suns. Please come and see me as soon as you're able. Alright, I guess I'll warp there now. Rising Stones it is. And into here we go. Can I click on the door, please? Thank you. Wow, that was dumb. Weird. All right, what do you want? Thank you for coming so quickly, Azurius. We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most determined lady by all indications. I guess was what they anticipated. The solar at present. All right. To the solar we go.
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
Yes.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm. Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers. Not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthan rhyme, aye. The brightening of the Dragonstar is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgard Soma himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald. Only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Garlean fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Ariange has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragonstar portends, the Great Worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgard Soma had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. We cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgard Soma. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights.
And that's why I'm here.
Therefore, Sir Emric would entrust this task to you. Do you accept?
Nod. There it is.
We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
Really? Why would they end the cutscene? Forgive me if I state all what you already know, but I wasn't sure that you understand the nature of your destination. Yep. As Ranjay stated, we now know the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrias, former flagship of the Imperial fleet, and the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Eorzea, Gaius Van Balsar attempted to seize control of Mordona. So massive was his force that all thought was victory was foregone conclusion. An unlikely ally came to Eorzea's aid that day. Magar Sormer, legendary guardian of the Silvertear Falls, burst forth from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against the Garlean ships overhead. What could later be known as the Battle of the Silvertear Skies, the Great Worm felled countless airships before engaging the Agrias. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's Aurelium engines failed and was tumbled into the lake below. Yet this victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. It's that same explosion transformed Silvertear Falls into a desolate wasteland it is today, creating a lake of its waters and crystallizing ether from malms around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, and at the center, a constant reminder of that fateful day long ago. In accordance with Sarah Emmerich's wishes, our Dolmen allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. Be wise to speak with them before investigating the wreckage yourself. Be careful, my friend. We know not which danger awaits you within. Now then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There is much to be done and precious little time to do it. I'm going to assume dungeon time, most likely. Okay, it's going to be much quicker to just teleport to Mordona. I'm literally right next to Mordona, but it will take 5 seconds to teleport instead of walking out 2 separate doors. There. Really? And away we go. Right over there. You're in luck, sir. I was about to send word to Revenant's Toll about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake. Though I cannot say for certain at this distance, I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. Castrum's supply lines have been cut for some time, and I wager they desperately need spare parts and other equipment. So it's true then, the Lish Guardians honestly fear that the worm might rise again? Well, from here, that seems rather unlikely, but if assurances they want, then you have no choice than inspect the corpse in its entirety. Easier said than done, given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage, and aforementioned Garleans who won't take kindly to your presence. They're sure to fire upon an airship, so I advise a more stealthy approach. Take this boat and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrias, then climb to the top. This is the only viable approach, I say. Alright, fun times are ahead. It is dungeon time. Okay. So let me set up Duty Finder. Dungeon. Oh yeah, you're party leader. Alright, that works for me. Huh, light party dungeon. Can't say it hasn't been a while from those, but... Alright, clear the Agrias hole. We'll target tank. Give everyone the region they need. Alright, moving on. That kind of hurt a lot. Let me back up. That's what happens when you have auto run on. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, teeny a little closer for this. These mouse stutters are gonna be a problem in this dungeon. It's gonna be really annoying. So far, it seems okay. A couple little stags there. Come on. Here we are. Ow. All right, there we go. I'll just take greed on those. It's pointless for me to actually have them. Hello! That almost like... That aggroed me for a second there. Oh, come on, mouse. Please stop. Come on. Oh. Cast Holy Faster, please. There we go. Ow. Okay. Glad it still let me cast that. Oh, come on. I think I had the aggro there for a teeny bit. That was weird. Okay, then. Okay, and then bam, there we go. Help a teeny, ow, teeny bit, ow, ow, ow. Come on, I can't even stand anywhere. Okay. That's a problem. Had target on me. Wrong button. Oh god. Okay. I was like, where do I stand? That's greed, and that's gonna be greed as well. Eventually I'll sell things. Alright, I guess I got that thing. Okay. Oh, whoa. Moving. All right.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from slumber sweet?
It's me, Azurius, if you were curious.
Remember, mortal, and fear me.
Why am I all the way back here? Probably cutscene. Oh. The great start. Okay. Oh, please, let me just cast something without being in an AoE. Thank you. Okay. And I'm moving. And I'm moving. We also have limit breaks if people remember to need them, use them. I don't know if this is a two-phase fight, so I'm just pointing that out. I don't know if anyone can hear me, but it's all good. Hello. And I'm moving. Not Asuna. Ah. This fighters just look at the ground at all times. Oh no, don't, no, not me, not me. Okay. Oh, okay. Move. I like how that cutscene goes. It's like, you got pants! Yeah! No, not Tryon. Just read it. I'm the only one here. Alright, now away we go.
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve. Speak, mortal, and I shall listen.
Garleon's bad. Scion's good.
Guided by a star. My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive.
Well, then your son's really gonna hate you.
Children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end. Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal.
I've already attempted that for the past 10 minutes.
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more. The covenant binds me to thee. I shall watch, listen, and wait. Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. I drink of her body, and thence doth mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth our beginning and an end.
Okay, so I just lost Hyland's blessing. Not sure how that's gonna affect things, but now I could just kinda summon, where are you? Where you be? There you are. Not the big one, the little one. There he is, just little itty bitty Megarsarmor. I don't know how that's gonna affect things, but I guess we'll find out. I was beginning to fear the worst. Were those explosions I saw? Ah, but you shouldn't waste time talking with me. Alpha now left a message stating that you were to return the Rising Stones at once. So I'm going to assume that... Where's my chat log? I was going to assume that even though I lost Hyland's blessing, more than likely I still can't be enthralled by the primals because Midgar Somar will probably protect me? Maybe? I don't know if he's saying that, like, he wouldn't be the one harming me. So I guess technically he would be protecting me, but yeah. Wonder if that will be an issue later on down the line. Why did the camera just shift weirdly when I clicked on that? Praise the 12th that you are hale and whole. I came as soon as Benfili informed me of Sir Emeric's request. If you completed your investigation of the Keeper Lake, I take it, then I would hear your report. You converse with Midgar Somar? I swear, were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the Worm Lord did not perish, and has lain dormant these past 15 years? Less resurrection and more rejuvenation for he who dwelleth in eternity, years passing as moments. Those words were ambiguous at times. One statement left little room for interpretation. Like people who have heard the song, Ishgard shall burn. Clearly an attack is imminent. We shared this information with Sir Emeric immediately. However, we dare not divulge your conversation with Midgar Somar in its entirety. To even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Draenian is grave, but necessary risk. Lest we forget, men have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection and the sake for our tenuous relations with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. As for how we shall present our revelation to Sir Emeric's emissary, you may leave that to me. Pray remain here for now. Is there something you are not telling us, Azurius? You seem different somehow. It's almost as if you are missing something important. Oh, forfend, Midgar Somar stripped you of the blessing of light? Are you alright? How do you feel? See, it is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. Its beggars believe that any beings could possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. And that line got skipped. Midgar Somar made mention of a covenant, did he? One of the ancient myths regarding Sortir Falls states that water came into existence, so too the Great Worm. I wonder if this is the covenant of which he spoke, and it was not the gods with whom he treated, but Hyland herself. Well, if he was watching over you as he claimed, perhaps you will have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves, so do not wish to burden our friends needlessly. Art thou a pawn, or master of thy fate? What hast thou wrought of thine own hands, mortal?
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Wormlord and lived to tell the tale. I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A
great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises. I must away, but we shall meet again soon.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
The Ishgardians have warred with the Dravians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once has their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgar Stormer who roared, a call to arms by one of the first brood cannot be ignored. So essentially one of them just like, I want to destroy stuff, and the rest is like, okay. Until such time as they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance and pray that our fears are unfounded. Ere I forget, I believe Mumbreda has requested a gathering of the Silence. I assume there has been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I complete my communication with the Crystal Braves. Alright, right over there. Oh, don't know if you're talking dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the solar, shall we? Alright. Turn right back around and then run into this room.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the Void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that White Auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute! Why didn't we think of this before? White aurosite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white aurosite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? Aye, I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an Etheric Siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arceans will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a Crystal Brave, you are yet a Scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thancred and Papalymo shall accompany you. Ida and Y'shtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white aurosite.
Thank you, Urianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able. Go well, and be safe.
Oh my god. Why do I have to speak to you again? Could have just stayed in the room. It would seem that the events have more conspired us to rob us of rest and recuperation. I would wish it otherwise. I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The fourth I already deployed to the area and await the arrival of Scions. Well, I almost said Wilfred. Wilfred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at our headquarters in Ulda. Shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Your duties take you to North Nathanland, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Flamen travels to Ulda, and we shall serve as our escort. I always forget how to say your name. At my daughter's behest, I will contact her and old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides of civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it's my hope that we can be convinced to the aid Scion's cause. They can be convinced. If past events have taught us anything, we know that Eorzea must present a united front or we shall fall. How extraordinary that my little Auxilia is involved in such a far-reaching affairs. I'm proud that I might now stand at her side, not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. Colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ulda has become a place of danger even for one so familiar to the streets. Ah, woe betide the blackguard that so much as glares in your direction, milady. I kicked your butt. I'm a white mage. Ah, I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way then? Oh, bye. Okay. Processing plant, go. I'm gonna assume behind the house? Yep, right there. Wait. Why did I lose health? What just happened? Commander Leveille sent word that you becoming a veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amalja. But returning to the task at hand, the Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Rabon's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing, getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Garleans could be marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Eldestein, that we might coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. Okay, I guess I'll just talk to you now because they actually teleported me. Corporal Carmine, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archheim. Would that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. Civilian draftsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates with the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design, no less. By my order, the Flame Station here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we are unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind us, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat, for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial Army. I will once again ask for your aid. Yep. Give me that quest. We've been keeping a close eye on the Garlean garrison, and it would seem that the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squad seen leaving the cache room are too few in number to effectively take hold of our position. Close enough. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I too, of course, will share this report with the Crystal Braves, who decided to take to the field and meet this assault head-on. I will apprise your fellow Scions of the situation. I'm heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pay report to Lieutenant Aliane and lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive. Alright, where are we at? Not far from here. Okie dokie. And away we go! Fly over this building because I'm too lazy. There we go. Hello. Talk, please. There you go. Glad to have you with us, Azure. I'm sure Lieutenant Eldestein has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force from Castor Meridium. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamun's Talons, but we also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on their approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilbert, you exist again. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bids you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at his disposal, the fourth should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The third was getting restless holed up in Oda, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, 'twould be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much cerulean. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scion shall join the fourth and give battle to this main column. You're with the third then, Warrior of Light. I have a name. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out on the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuhase. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. All right. Distance. Okay. Mouse, please. Stop. A pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate is split into smaller squads. better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, and I imagine we'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground. Make sure not to we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Hi, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting. Okie dokie. How far do I gotta go now? Not very far, honestly. Walking. Still forbidden. Hi. Alright, that works. Next Imperial squad is all the way up there. Really don't want to... Okay, here we go! Alright. That's it? Really? I thought I was gonna be doing more than that. No, I'm skipping text. Why? You seem grim, Silent. I mean, between two Guardians, we'll be making it back to the castrum. It's Imperials, however, they certainly earn our pay. It would be a happy man if I ever had to tussle with another one of those bench tech whores. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. Contact the fourth and let Lieutenant Elena with it. No, the rest is not. West is now clear. I'd appreciate that if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. All right, we're going back inside the building and be like, "Yo, I did it." Corporal Carmine, what news of the Garleans? The raiding parties are no more then? Excellent. Imagine engineers will be most relieved to hear that the planet is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. Click. Game, please. It must be my mouse. I don't know what's going on. You must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Alain reported a sound victory over the main comm. Informs me that the Scions already turned their attention to other duties. All but one, that is. A Rogadan lady with a large axe would appear she's chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know what task keeps her from returning civilization, but Northern Thailand is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sword such as her. Suddenly feel better about such things if you would check in on her before you continue on your way. Okay. She is right next to our raid, ironically enough. Really, game? Really? Okay then. Oh, it's dead already. Moving on. Hello.
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know, as Urianger never tires of reminding me. An axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
He senses me. A useful talent.
Hanassian, are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth, meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us? Nabriales, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet, unconscious. But this staff, you say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
Minfilia's in danger. Nod. No. You're here! Master Luloswa's staff is kept in the solar, isn't it? Quickly now. And it's gone.
You two.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
Okay then. What? Yeah, that thing. 2 tanks, 2 healers for DPS. Alright. It's like, go now, before it closes. And I'm like sitting here, I'm like, I had to wait at least 5 minutes. Actually, you know what? I have to go to the bathroom, so hopefully I have enough time. Okay. Looks like I made it just in time. Looks like I appeared at Kingdom Hearts. All right. I'm not really sure what's going on here. But I'm gonna do this as a just in case. I have a feeling it's best to avoid these things. That wasn't terrible. Okay, so far so good. Wrong button, but I'm okay with casting stone on him, I suppose. Oh, that hit me? Really? That's out of the AoE. That actually was decently far away from it, too. Oh, okay. I feel like I'm the only one that pays attention to that bar sometimes. Oh. Extended 10 full? Alright. Sounds good to me then. I'm gonna assume this is a good spot. Kinda good. It hurt a lot. Okay, now we're back here. Alright, I got you, Raze. Honeycomb Valley is just right there. It's like, can't even click on her. Wasn't exactly sure what happened there. Like, basically, 2 people died. I'm like, wait, what?
You're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come? Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, Scions.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
What trickery is this? No. No! Cannot! No!
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free! Concentrate. Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light. Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me! I shall make you pay for your insolence!
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Master Louisoix, I understand now the choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Urianger. You daft old coot.
Moonbreeder! No! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Moonbreeder. She's gone. You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead. This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia, are you all right?
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Ariange know?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Sharlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louisoix. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hitherto the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Sharlayan behind, Master Louisoix gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered, and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisoix I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisoix's will before the end? The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
Well then. Never have I seen your Ranger so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. You shall gather in the Charlean Manor to celebrate Moonbreeder's life and mourn her passing. So pick a materia. As Moonbreeder was a native of Charlean, I feel it is only fitting that we gather before the mark of a scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? Tis a monument found out at Athfrost. It is sacred to Athaliak, guardian deity of the city of learning. There we shall pray for our dear friend's soul and bid her a peaceful return to light of Mother Crystal. Oh, yeah, that's still better than going through 2 doors. Oops, I almost flew right by it. I was going to say there better be a cutscene because I was like nothing there. And I'm like, that's not really mourning, that's turning around.
Forgive me, Moonbreeder. Had I been quicker or wiser, but I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Life for death, a fair exchange. Other bargains will be struck.
I'm guessing no one heard that. Okay then. Though we have said our farewells, the pale of sadness is diminished but a little. Forgive me, as antecedent, it's my job to be a pillar of strength for all others to lean upon. Yet I also believe the grief we feel now is precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree? Tis as if a dagger, blah 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 blah, disappeared because I couldn't read it quick enough. Tis but a pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many. Luswa, Mumbrita, our fellows at the Waking Sands. Their spirit and dedication to our cause, however, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need to remind you of this, of course. 'Tis for my own benefit that I repeat these words, a reaffirmation of mine own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I am like to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies again. There is no other to whom I could display such weakness. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in the days to come. You would think that that would be like, oh, no expansion time. And it's like, nope, we still got some quests before the new expansion. But unfortunately, that's all I have time for today. And yes, I would definitely like to continue since there's not so many quests left until I get to the expansion, which will be fun because I actually will be on the expansion. Finally. But thank you all for coming to my stream. And whoever's watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you actually sat there and didn't skip through it, even better. But at the same time, it's just gameplay. So you know how that is. Anyways, again, thank you all for coming. And you all have a good day.